Why did I want custodial? Well, let me tell you. So, you may be wondering, why the heck would this girl want custodial again? Let me tell ya. The first program that I did, I got custodial, and it was one of my top roles that I wanted. I knew custodial would be a great role because I heard so many great things about it. I made a video explaining why I chose custodial last time, and that was before I started the program, so I didn't really have a good take on it. I hope this take can be better for you if you watch that one. This interview process, one of my top roles again was custodial, and what do you know, I got it again. I was happy. Here's why I love custodial. Last time I worked in the World Showcase, and I was able to just kind of walk around. I had independence the whole time. Of course, there was some structuring that you had to follow. You had to make sure that the garbage was changed on time and none were getting close to overflowing, otherwise you'll get a call on the radio telling you, hey, you have to go check that. You could also kind of just go on and off stage as you please. Of course, they want you on stage as much as possible, but if you do need to, let's say, go to the bathroom, you're free to do that instead of waiting for someone to come and replace you for a little bit. I think that's how other roles have to do it. They have to wait till their breaks or till they get relieved by another person. So custodial, you have that freedom to just kind of walk around and do whatever you want. Another thing that I noticed was a perk was a lot of the other roles that specifically my roommates had to do, like attractions and stuff, they had a lot of negative guest interactions, and in custodial I didn't have any at all. You really aren't in a position to make a guest mad when you're in custodial because what you're doing is cleaning up what they want clean, specifically the bathrooms. Sometimes there would be a long line, so they might have got a little frustrated when you had to cut the line and just say, hey, I need to check the bathroom quick. But I never had people mad at me. Maybe other people did, but they were always happy to see me there because I would have toilet paper in my hands and they'd be like, yes, we want toilet paper. We are not mad at you. Go ahead. I never had a negative guest interaction. Another great thing about custodial is every night we could stand and watch the fireworks. They want us not going in front of people and cleaning, of course, at that time. And at that time, it's too early to do any garbage runs because they're just gonna get overflowed right after the fireworks anyway. You just kind of stand around. If you see someone standing on something they shouldn't be, politely ask them to get down. You're basically there and available to answer guest questions. Another thing is when I was in a slower area, which I kind of loved, the fast areas were good too because the day just went faster, but the slow areas too could become fast if you just stand out in the walkway and guests would just come up to you and ask you questions constantly. Another good thing about bathroom shifts, which some of you might be nervous about, is there's a stock closet almost in every single bathroom where you can just wait in there until the lines go down. Then once you hear it quiet, you run in there, you change everything, then you go back. You aren't supposed to wait in the stock closets, but sometimes it's better to let the crowd move instead of trying to weasel your way through and make everybody mad. That's another good thing about custodial. You don't always have to be right on stage. You can go backstage, get everything in line before you come on stage and do the bathrooms. Another great thing about bathroom shifts is on the super hot days, you aren't standing outside sweating your butt off because you can be in the air conditioning inside freezing. Another thing, custodial is outside, which I loved. When you are outside for your street shifts, you get to wear white, which has its pros and cons, but when you're in the sun, it helps a lot to be wearing white. Also, when you're sweating, it isn't as obvious. For girls who are nervous about wearing all white, like I said previously, you can go off and on stage as you please, basically, if you need to go to the bathroom or whatever. And yeah, so don't be worried about wearing white. I was the first time, but it's really not that big of a deal once you're in there. When you're outdoors working custodial, you do get jackets on cold days. There's two options that you can wear, and one's a little heavier and one's like a fall jacket. You get hats and mittens as well, and you get those from costuming. Those are available for you, and when it was a cold day and I would forget to bring a jacket, my coordinators were really friendly. They even let me wear their jacket one time, and they let me go and get my jacket on my breaks, and sometimes even not on my breaks, they would just let me go and get my jacket. I don't know how every area it was, but World Showcase was pretty relaxed that way. They didn't want anybody getting sick. This time, I'm going to be working in Hollywood Studios. I expect it to be a little bit different, so I'll have to clean bigger rides. In the World Showcase, the only rides that we had were the Mexico boat ride and then Norway, so there really wasn't anything major to clean. Like a roller coaster, like I could be cleaning in Hollywood Studios. This time I did have to clean up something on Test Track when I was deployed to Future World, and that wasn't bad at all, so I don't suspect it to be super bad. In Hollywood Studios, Rock and Roller Coaster, or the Tower of Terror. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. Working in a hotel I heard was great. It's a lot more laid back. You do a couple different things, so you'll be working by the pool and collecting towels. I believe you also drive around like a golf cart, which you do not do if you're in a park. So I think it requires different training and you can't pick up hotel shifts. But if you work at a hotel, then you can pick up park shifts. But if you work at a park, you can't pick up hotel shifts. So that's kind of how that works. For Custodial too, it's easier to request days off on the hub because there's so many people that they could fill that position with. Let's say if you're a different role like convention guide, there's not as many people who do it. So it's harder to get your days off that you request. Also, people are willing to trade and switch shifts with you all the time because there's so many, and people want to try to work in all the different parks. So literally there's thousands of people that will pick up shifts from you if you're trying to switch with someone. I really love Custodial. It was laid back. It had so much positive guest interactions. I could just give out stickers, or I walked around and asked little kids that were dressed up for their autograph. It was really a great role, and I'm really excited to be getting it again. Some people that I worked with last time are working in Hollywood Studios now too. I'll get to see people I know all the time. So I'm super excited to be going back for Custodial. If you have any more questions about how shifts go compared to restrooms or streets or other perks, I don't know if I can think of any. I'll put them in the comments below, but those are the main ones that people really love about Custodial and want to choose Custodial over other roles. Because really, the cleaning is not that bad. They teach you how to clean up vomit or other codes that you may get, and they really aren't that common to get, at least in the World Showcase. The only day I had to clean up vomit a lot was on Cinco de Mayo, and I was working with someone else the whole time. So we both cleaned it, and it wasn't bad at all. You had the proper PPE, and you don't have to touch really anything. It's really not that bad. Don't let that scare you. It's really rare, and at the end of the middle to end of your program, you start hoping to get those calls to clean that stuff up because it gives you something exciting to do that's different than the usual. That's Custodial life. And I hope you choose Custodial because it's so much fun. Also, if you put Custodial as a high interest when you apply, they do say, I don't know if Disney says it or it's just like a rumor or whatever, but you are more likely to get in because that is a high needed role. That might help you too if you are so desperate to get in the program, and you'll do that, you'll do anything, put Custodial. So if you have any questions, like I said, multiple times, put them in the comments below and I'll be happy to help. Thank you so much for watching Haley's Happy Ever After. If you want to follow my next DCP program, which is happening in literally 3 days, subscribe to my channel. I don't know, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Snapchat, Halebach26. It's linked on my main page. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye!